Hey guys, Bailey here. Chapter 1, Dandelion Seeds and Gut Checks. A sharp gust of autumn air rushed through early evening, rustling the majestic evergreens that ran parallel to the entire block. Avery Giordano, a handsome brown-haired boy, stood on the back stoop of 14 Cedar Forest Drive, impatiently waiting for his younger sister. "Belle, let's go!" Avery shouted up to her window. "Everyone's waiting," he added, sounding more like a grown man than a 7-year-old boy. Belle Giordano came barreling down the stairs in a frenzy of excitement, like every few steps had jolted her with an electrical shock. Having just recently celebrated her 6th birthday, she was wise beyond her tiny years, and appreciative of the social breakthrough of being expected to join the older children in their after-dinner playtime. Belle and Avery raced across their backyard, through a field bordering the forest, with overgrown green and golden grass tickling at their legs. They filed through the trampled pathway into their personal woodland, Belle rambling on about stories their father had told her at bedtime. On and on she endured, about boiling volcanoes, treacherous shipwrecks, and mysterious coves. Her favorite tale spoke of mermaid tears, a lavish green littered with specks of glittering gold. Somewhere between glowworm caves and swirling whirlpools, it dawned on Avery that no matter what length she had in her to spare, listening would always be a large part of his brotherly duties. They passed a familiar cluster of chunky daphne bushes when, to Avery's delight, he caught a glimpse of peace and quiet appear on the horizon. It was the Cipriano brothers. Jaden was sitting on a rotted-out log, while his little brother Frankie played close by, both faithfully waiting for their two friends. Circumstantially, the Cipriano family is one of the most powerful empires in the country, dating as far back as the Ceres founding days. It's said that only the fury of Manezer's kiss can blow through Cipriano hair uninvited. Yet even with that kind of legend fueling Jaden's footsteps, it was indeed Avery who ran Cedar Forest Drive. Even the insects seemed to mind their manners in Avery's presence, buzzing and whirring a courteous distance from his reach. "Hey," Avery said with a friendly nod, waiting for Belle to catch up to Frank Cipriano just a few feet off. "Take Belle duty for me, please," Avery pled to his best friend's inclination to be swayed by his influence. "She's been talking at me since, breakfast." "Sure, yeah. Frank is getting on my nerves, too," Jaden said in agreement, rolling his eyes at his younger brother circling the same tree, chasing after Belle. Jaden often complied with Avery's requests, not out of weakness, but rather deep love he has for the two siblings. "I just need some time where she's not reciting something at me," Avery said, his lips pursed together. For an instant, an affectionate smile fell across Jaden's face. "She'll grow out of that eventually, I bet," he said encouragingly. Even at the tender age of 7, a deep devotion to Belle bubbled within him. "Thin crowd tonight, huh?" Avery asked, nobbing Jaden with a friendly elbow. Noticing 2 of their closest friends missing, Avery continued, "Where are Karsh and Naomi?" "Karsh is still visiting his aunt in the States," Jaden reminded him. "And I don't really care where Naomi is, because without Karsh to partner her off with, one of us will get stuck with her," Jaden admitted freely, not fond of the idea of having Naomi on his team. Naomi was a silver sandals instead of sneakers for playtime type, often excluding her from the list of ideal teammates. However, having had grown up together on the same block, scratching from the same patches of poison ivy, the 6 young companions frequently found their lives interwoven, despite any young tensions and squabbling. "Frankfurt Towers, let's go," Avery said, waving him over. By age, Frankie and Belle were the babies of the group, but when it came to height, Frankie towered over the majority of everyone, hence his nickname. He fled his post by Belle to join Avery, the two of them speeding off for a strategic advantage. With soil smudged about her face and wild chestnut-colored hair, Belle ran with Jaden through parallel rows of cedars, laughing and counting. Belle scoured the treetops with squinted eyes and a smirk, and hadn't even made it 15 seconds before she got distracted from her counting. An autumn breeze rushed through, kicking up a fog of dandelion seeds in its passing. She hopped and leapt about like a tormented squirrel searches for its misplaced acorns, hopeful to coax each fuzzy wisp for a wish. Too busy running around to notice, Belle's headband fell from the tips of her bushy hair. "Belle, wait up!" Jaden shouted after her, only partially concerned that Avery's knuckles would surely graze his face if she were to wander off too far. "Your bow," Jaden said in a whisper, entranced by the headband like it were a boulder that had just missed him. Jaden crouched down swiftly to retrieve the fallen hairpiece, and when he did, his left palm was met with a sharp slash. Perhaps it was an old saw blade, or maybe an abandoned hunting knife. But before he could assess the wound, Belle had squealed off out of his sight. Jaden wildly chased after echoes of her hearty giggle, his feet pounding beneath him. He twisted his features at the smell of his warm blood on the air, dribbling down his fingers like tiny red streams. He closed his eyes for an instant of reprieve when he crashed into Belle, sending her face first onto the forest floor. Belle Giordano was no stranger to tumbles and falls, and bounced back up almost the instant she landed, blowing balmy breath at her stinging scrapes. "Geez, watch where you're thumping, Jaden," Belle said, a whistle screeching through the gap of her first missing tooth. She loomed over Jaden to wait for an apology, when her expression of expectancy quickly dissolved to panic. Jay, you're bleeding," Belle said loudly, her eyes bulging with fright. Unsure if it was the loss of blood or mere stomach ache that had Jaden looking queasy, she reached down to her fallen friend. "I'm so sorry. Are you hurt?" Jaden said, reaching up to her with his uninjured hand. "No, I'm fine," she insisted, a smile pinned at her ears. "That looks pretty gross," she said, worry wrinkles gracing her tiny cheeks. Belle finished helping Jaden wipe at the dirt and dry leaves sticking to his designer play clothes, and then tangled her arms around his neck loyally. "Rock, paper, gut check," she said, with a gentle bump of her fist to his stomach. "That's what Ave tells me when I have to be brave." She removed a loosened ruffle from her dress in one swift rip. Jaden locked his brown eyes to her as she wrapped his hand tightly with the dingy swath, carefully tucking it in at its ends. "Your dress," he muttered, motioning to the frayed fabric rustling across her scuffed knees. "It's okay, I never liked it anyway," she said, pulling uncomfortably at the close-fitting cloth. Jaden nervously kicked at piles of dried cedar sprigs with the tip of his shoe. "I always did," he said lowly. Caramel rays of the sun slowly tucked themselves away, and fireflies floated weightlessly between cedar canopies. In fact, Torrance is the only state in the country of Asare with enough forestry to house fireflies. Additionally, Torrance is one of few places in the world with the precise climate to host an annual glass-winged butterfly migration. "Look!" Belle gasped unexpectedly. She took off abruptly toward her house, brushwood and branches whipping at her shins. "Belle, where are you going?" Jaden said in a shout, even trotting a few paces after her, before he remembered that both his brother and his best friend were scouted out in trees somewhere, waiting to be found. Tiny twigs snapped beneath her yellow sparkle shoes, like the sound of broken pretzel twists, growing fainter in the distance. Day dimmed to a chilly autumn twilight, and the crickets played their songs, along with the anthems of the night birds. Hey guys, Bailey here. So that was chapter 1. Hope you loved it. I definitely, choked on my words a few times. That's gonna happen. I can't erase that aspect. But, I really hope you loved it, and please feel free to, comment below what you think, or you could also email me at, baileypietros@gmail.com, and I will put that up so you can see that as well. And thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. And be blessed. And I'll see you soon for chapter 2.